So, today we're going to dive into a tool that's designed to tackle one of the biggest challenges in trading. How do you actually become consistently profitable? We're going to see how it promises to take the guesswork and the chaos out of trading and turn it into something that looks a lot more like a professional, data-driven operation. Let's get right into it.
First things first, we have to ask the big question, right? Why do so many traders end up failing? It's usually not because they don't have enough information or because they're not trying hard enough. Nope. The real problem is almost always a lot closer to home. It's hiding right inside our own decision-making process.
And yeah, I'm willing to bet this screen looks painfully familiar to a lot of you. You see that equity curve, it goes up, gives you a bit of hope, and then it just starts to bleed out. The loss itself, that negative 2,500 rupees, isn't a disaster in one go, but it's that slow, frustrating grind that really kills an account over time.
Which brings us to what we call the trader's dilemma. See, it's not just about losing the money that's so frustrating. It's the not knowing why you're losing it. It feels like you're just flying blind, making decisions without any real map of what's actually working for you and what's costing you a fortune.
So how do we fix this? Well, the whole solution starts with a very simple but incredibly powerful principle. You absolutely cannot improve what you don't measure. It's true in sports, it's true in business, and believe me, it is crucial in trading. If you're not measuring, you're not improving. You're just guessing.
Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I already keep a journal, and that's great, but a simple diary of your trades just isn't going to cut it. If you really want to find the patterns that matter, you have to collect the right kind of data, and you have to do it in a structured way. And that data really breaks down into three key streams. First, you've got the raw numbers, every single buy and sell. Second, you need the context, your thoughts, your feelings, your observations. And third, what was the market itself doing? Were you swimming with the current or fighting against it? So this is the bedrock, right? The trade log. Every entry, every exit, every win, every loss, all captured right here. This isn't just a list. Think of it as a database of your every decision. It's the cold, hard, objective truth about your performance, with zero emotion attached. And this is where you start to add some color to that black and white data. The notebook is for your mindset, your thesis for taking the trade. The Market Breadth tool lets you tag what the overall market was doing that day. All of a sudden, your trades aren't just isolated events anymore. They have real market and psychological context. Okay, so you're gathering all this great data. What's the next step? Well, this is where you shift from being reactive to proactive. It's time to actually use all that information you've gathered to build a solid, rules-based trading system. And this is the command center for that. In the research lab, you're not just keeping vague ideas in your head anymore. You are defining your strategy. You create specific folders for your favorite setups, your exact entry rules, and your non-negotiable exit rules. This is where your trading knowledge gets organized. And this is how you turn all that theory into actual practice. The master list takes those rules from your research lab and turns them into a simple pre-trade checklist. Is there a prior uptrend? Yes or no? Do you see skyscraper volumes? Yes or no? It forces you to be disciplined right at that critical moment of decision. So you can see the path starting to form, right? It's really a clear three-step process. First, you define your rules based on your own data. Second, you build your checklist from those rules. And third, you finally have a framework to execute with real discipline. It's a system you can repeat day in and day out. But let's be honest. What if you do all of this? You gather the data, you build the system, you use the checklist, but you're still leaking money. What then? Well, this brings us to what might be the most powerful part of this whole thing. Because here's the hardest truth about trading. Very often, we are our own worst enemy. We all have these emotional blind spots, these unconscious habits that make us repeat the exact same mistakes over and over, even when we think we have a solid system. And this is the answer to that problem, the AI coach. It has literally analyzed every single one of this trader's 25 trades, the good, the bad, the ugly, the notes, the market conditions, and its job is to give you brutally honest, data-driven feedback with no ego or emotion involved. And just look at how specific this is. The AI isn't giving vague advice. It's pinpointing the exact leaks. It's saying you're taking low conviction entries. It found a specific setup that is a consistent loser, costing this trader over 7,000 rupees. And get this,
Trading in weak markets has a win rate of literally 0%. That's not an opinion, that's just math based on the trader's own actions.
Okay, so you have the diagnosis. You know exactly what's broken. What's next? Well, knowing your mistakes is one thing, but actually fixing them is another. This is where we move from analyzing the past to actually modeling the future. And I love this because it shows the whole journey. On the left, you've got the painful reality of past performance. And on the right, you have the performance projector, a tool that lets you build a different, better future based on everything you've just learned. So what does that future look like if nothing changes? The projector runs the numbers on your current strategy and, oof, it projects an annual loss of nearly 45,000 rupees. That's the real cost of continuing to trade with these same hidden flaws. But here's where it gets really powerful. The projector is basically a what-if machine. What if you just stopped taking that one setup that always loses money? What if you decided to sit on your hands on weak market days? You can literally model the financial impact of better discipline and see your new future in real numbers. This one quote from the AI coach really says it all. It identifies a specific, costly behavior, trading a setup labeled unknown, and it gives a direct, simple command: stop. Why? Because it has a negative expected value. Every single time you make that trade, you are statistically paying to lose money. It's that simple and that powerful. And ultimately, that's the core question this whole thing leaves you with. When it comes to your own trading, are you just guessing and hoping for the best? Or are you part of a real system of measuring, analyzing, and actually improving? Because the difference between those two things, well, it's everything.